We're still going to give you a clean, flat surface to build your new home, but we're going to donate all these materials. We're going to pull every nail. We're going to take the fireplace mantles, the wood flooring, every floor joist is going to be donated and documented. And the appraiser that comes through and puts a value on the building says, this building's worth every component in that building that can be reused. Their pocketbook just doubled because no longer did they just pay us to do the work. They got a huge tax incentive.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds. Excited about my guest. I got a guest on here who's going to, let you into some valuable nuggets, especially when it comes to redevelopment, and demolition, right? Did you guys know there's a tax model that could actually help you out when you're doing this development and maybe put you a little ahead than behind? Listen, I'm not the expert here, but my man is, and he is about to give you some nuggets. Now, he is controlling the information that he gives you, so I don't know how much free game he's going to give you, but I do know that what he's going to tell you is really going to help out, and you're going to really, really like his lens. So I have to introduce you guys to Mr. Kyle Fitzgerald. Mr. Kyle, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm great, Q. Thanks for the intro, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's exciting.
No, absolutely, man. Listen, I thank you for being here. And listen, I want to dive right in because, sir, you are a wealth of knowledge. I love what your business is doing. And so take us into your world. Tell us what your main focus is these days. Maybe tell us what markets you're operating in. If you want to go into a little bit of how you got started, man, I just want you to take us into the world of Kyle. So please take our viewers into your world, brother.
Awesome. Sounds good. Where I got started, I guess, young kid watching my dad in a small town. He's from Oak Park, Illinois. So my parents grew up in kind of an interesting area with a lot of historic buildings. Frank Lloyd Wright had a lot of stuff there, but like really just people who appreciated some of this, gorgeous architecture. And they moved to a small town of 600 people in Lansing, Iowa, northeast corner of Iowa, the most incredible driftless region. Beautiful part of the country that is really misunderstood. Iowa, people think cornfields and flat land. It's actually, this is like being in the Adirondacks. It's gorgeous with this Mississippi River running through. So they saw value in these incredible properties. My dad was a painter and a contractor and restored buildings. So early on, I saw what work meant. He instilled a work ethic in me that was one that I couldn't shake, so basically I started ripping apart buildings. I was filling buckets with plaster and lath and, at a young age, wearing a dust mask and just going after it. And so demolition has always been in my blood, but then putting it all back together too, restoration, seeing the final product of these gorgeous restorations. And a lot of times in this case, historic restorations that were done delicately. But we lived in a small town. There wasn't a Home Depot right down the street. The lumberyard was there, but it was, not fully stocked. So I saw the value in saving everything down to, like, literally, I'm not going to joke, straightening a nail, like
Yeah,
pounding a nail
yeah.
straight after you pulled it out to repound it back in. So that sounds crazy to me right now, even to say that. But um,
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
I got really keenly aware of where the value was in materials. And then from there, I went and worked for a developer in Iowa City when I was at school at Iowa. And I was raiding the dumpsters. They were throwing out perfectly good stuff. And I was like, no, I'm putting that in my truck and taking it home. And I would have garage sales at my own home on the weekends in Iowa City. And I'd make $4,000 or $5,000. I'm not joking. Something got scratched or dented with the crown molding. There was 13 extra sticks that were 14 foot long. I'd haul them home and I'd sell them for, $30 a piece or whatever it was, which was half the cost that they were. But as a developer, when you're cruising, building 12 plexes and big luxury homes, you don't have time or a place to store that crap. So I
Yeah.
started in that area, that reconstruction and reuse. And that really led me into this whole idea of, what's an old growth piece of lumber worth? Somebody said, hey, I'm going to tear down this barn. Do you want it? I'm like, absolutely. So me and some boys showed up with, crowbars and hammers and a sawzall back and a generator, because we didn't have cordless tools back then that we do now. And we'd cut that barn up and we made $25,000 in a weekend, taking barn boards, pulling the nails, putting the time in, restacking the material. And we get a call from a guy that says, I'll buy all of that. And
Mm,
so right then it was like, pow, like, people are missing the boat here. Like, what are you doing? You're throwing money in the dumpster. But I totally get it. Because if you're a contractor or a developer, that's just shit in your way. That stuff is not serving your goal. You're going to make your turn on building the new building. So it doesn't fit into their value prop. And then I'll
yeah.
fast forward even further, like after college, coming back to Dubuque, Iowa, working in historic redevelopment and some big projects. I met a guy named Ken Ortiz in Chicago, Illinois, and we actually trained like 27 people on deconstruction, this concept of taking buildings down by hand. Crazy to most people, most contractors to this day, even excavators and friends of mine, they're like, you guys are nuts. But when then you show them you're holding $10,000 cash for taking all the old wood out of a building and selling it to a guy who's down in Arizona, and he's selling this stuff for triple what I sold it to him for, they're like, oh, maybe there is some sense to that. And now they just call me and they say, yeah, can you get this stuff out of here? And I don't work for free anymore. I charge for that service. But um, fast forward, skipping through a lot of this stuff, we identified a tax. Now, I wouldn't call it a loophole. It's a tax strategy for involving 501c3 nonprofits that specialize in taking good, valuable building materials and, kicking them back out they sell them. So into
Yeah.
the network. So we have partners that also do appraisals. So imagine, a high-end home on the North Shore of Chicago, lakefront property. The people just bought it for, $1 million, and they don't love it. And they
Yeah.
went through it with their architects, their designers. Yeah, they could gut the kitchen and redesign it the way they wanted it, but they really just want a new cube to live in. So they're going to smash the house. They call their contractor. The contractor says, yeah, it's going to be 187,000 to smash the house. Okay, cool. What do they get? They get a clean slate to build their new home. Fine. Well, they call us and we're like, yeah, it's going to be almost double that, or maybe sometimes competitive, but it's going to be more than the demolition of just straight demolishing. But here's the kicker. We're still going to give you a clean, flat surface to build your new home, but we're going to donate all these materials. We're going to pull every nail. We're going to take the fireplace mantles, the wood flooring. We're literally pulling up every wood floor, pulling the nails out of trim, taking every door, every sink, every Sub-Zero, Wolf Range, whatever. Some of them have really great stuff.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Every floor joist is going to be donated and documented, and the appraiser that comes through and puts a value on the building says this building's worth, we'll use an example, and I shouldn't quote numbers, but in the case of a really high-end home that they just bought for $1 million, it doesn't matter what it bought for. It doesn't matter what your appraiser of real estate says. These people are appraising the value of every board, every component in that building that can be reused. And we come in with a team and spend the labor to get it all taken to a nonprofit. So now a donation valued at a significant value is donated from the property owner to a 501c3. They fill out the proper paperwork, and now that homeowner, feels good that they did the right thing and kept these things from getting plunged into a landfill. And that always feels fuzzy, but their pocketbook just doubled because no longer did they just pay us to do the work. They got a huge tax incentive. They're high earners, and their tax basis just was deleted for the next however long, depending on their situation. So, it's such a great model. Nobody knows about this. Very few do. Those that do, they're using it. We've grown contractors. I've trained people on how to do proper deconstruction because there's an art to it, into doing it right, into capitalizing and maximizing. And sometimes it's not worth doing the full deconstruction. Sometimes it's worth just the hybrid. We're going to come in and we're going to get the simple, lowest hanging fruit to get you the highest value, keep things out of the landfill, but keep your costs down. It's a balance of figuring it out. So that's, I think, one of the coolest things we do. That's, my bread and butter, but I'm a huge fanatic for historic restoration. I see value in buildings that are just being smashed. We've even done, contractors that are demolition contractors tearing down, if you've ever driven on the interstate, you see these large, tall walls that separate the interstate noise from the neighborhood directly behind it. One time in the Chicagoland area, this wall was built out of what they call ironwood or azobe. It's a really high density, incredible lumber, better than treated lumber, like a teak almost. And they were replacing it with a concrete wall. So the contractor's like, I got all this wood to get rid of. Who's going to take it? We went and got him a multi-million-dollar donation. So the contractor's making, hundreds of thousands, if not millions a year in profit. And he's going to have to pay Uncle Sam that. But he took ownership of this material. We had a value given to that material that was unbelievable. And he was able to capture that value by donating it to us. I became the guy that became the contractor. There's a lot of parts that need to be solved in that mess, but that's what my specialty is taking very complex things and making them simple. Even though maybe if you've listened to me for the last 5-minute rant, you're like, this is, it's too much. I do that to people, but we solve problems in real estate through, uncovering hidden value. I mean, that's really the simplicity of what we do is I identify the value. I find the best way to get it most efficiently, and I help people capture the value rather than dump it in the landfill. So.
Absolutely. Now, man, I've been told that I track very well. So, sir, no, everything you said was succinct. It made sense. And it's absolutely incredible. I'll be honest with you. I've been on podcasts, a lot. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. And so, man, you talking about these donations to the 501c3, the materials, your appraiser coming in, making sure you getting the exact amount that you're supposed to get, and you taking that and donating it, and then you getting a tax write-off. I mean, that's amazing, man. And so I know we've been talking and you've been saying, you got a lot that's going on. You are doing a lot of different things. So what keeps you kind of structured? Like, what's been the key to keeping you running smoothly and that machine that you have running smoothly?
I think that's the question my wife's asking too.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I don't know. I think it's tricky because I have a lot of interests. I love real estate. I'm doing some redevelopment projects myself, and I've got those things. Those things actually drain you. You know, you get long-term equity, but I think what keeps me structured, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. Like I have a very strict routine. I do coaching as well. I only have 4 people that I work with at a time. But I do personal coaching and resilience training for people, and if I'm looking at my book, right, this is an incredible guy, Joe DeCina, but he's one of my mentors. But, exercise, working out, but every single morning, people think I'm nuts. I get into an ice bath and I pray and I meditate and I center for my, I've, diagnosed as having ADHD, all that crap. It's all BS, like doing breath work, doing cold plunges and getting yourself fit in whatever way that means, getting spiritually fit. That's my key to everything. I'm not always on point. I am probably one of the most disciplined and least disciplined people at the same time. But knowing
Got you.
myself, doing self personal growth, really understanding who I am and how I operate and trying to continue to like take micro steps towards being a little more disciplined is helpful because anybody who's listening to this, if you're a real estate, investor, you've been kicked in the teeth. And if you haven't, wait, you're going to get kicked into the teeth. I can't wait for you to get just knocked down because it happens. Like, and if you can't get back up from that, you're done. You may as well just go dig your 6-foot hole and jump in because this is not for the faint of heart. So you've got to build a solid basis of resilience. And I truly believe that. And I've been fortunate to have a lot of adversity in my life. And ever since I started, doing cold plunges, I mean, it's been catching on. People are all they're raving about it and things like that. And it's great. It's great that it is, but it's become almost like a fad. I stick with it, faith and exercise and just commitment to yourself. You have to do it. It sounds selfish, but it's the most selfless thing you can do is know yourself and dig deep. And, my quote, I guess my slogan is draw deep and rise strong, and that's what you got to do. You got to draw deep and you can rise strong. But you asked, and I guess that's my big answer for that. It's powerful. So.
No, it's definitely powerful. We are on the same page. I understand. You and I was talking. Told you right before you and I got on. I was talking to my life coach, and we were talking about being present. And one of the things that you said discipline and then least discipline. The thing is being aware of who you are, being aware of where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. Because when you are aware, then your mind changes around the way you operate and attack it. And so it makes all the sense in the world. I know people that do the cold plunges and ice baths in the morning. So brother, I hear you loud and clear.
Good to hear.
Loud and clear. Yeah, man. So let me ask you this. And I love to get this from your perspective. Operators, things go wrong all the time. Like things get real, right? Maybe
Yep.
deals go sideways or you have to pivot fast. And so within your world, are there moments where you have to pivot fast, moment where you kind of got to think on your feet and restructure a deal? Or I'm not even sure if we call it a deal in your world, but have you had any moments like that? You picking up what I mean?
I don't even want to talk about it because I'm in one
Ooh,
right now, and
okay.
I made a very. I don't want to take full accountability for it, and that's against the grain of what I like to teach. Is like you have to take accountability. My part is big. I trusted someone who was selling me a property that my initial, and I thought I was seeing what I was seeing. The diligence wasn't done. I didn't do enough due diligence on a large commercial purchase, and it came and kicked me in the teeth. It was an older building. It needed everything. City codes had changed. Everything went wrong if it could have gone wrong, and a lot of it was because the previous owner knew of these problems and they hid them, and presented it as if, oh look, it's got brand new PEX tubing, everything's been done, new water heaters, HVAC. This is a great building. It's turnkey. Well, turnkey became full gut rehab of a building, and anyone who understands this industry knows that if you were planning to just move people in and it turned into an entire gut rehab, new windows, new roofs, knew everything, because once you start doing work, like, you don't just like, oh, well, we're not going to, no, you have to do the full mechanicals, the full, from the ground up. And in that case, it was a full gut rehab that stuck me big,
Yeah.
and so I guess it was there. I fought with it for a while, and I was angry at myself, didn't forgive myself, was very ashamed of myself for making that kind of mistake. And the more I just accepted it, and I even sued the person that sold it to me, because they didn't operate in good faith there, and they in fact hid things. But that's an ongoing lawsuit, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
kill them, but I want something back from what I've had to go through there. I got saved by the opportunity that we have, like, some really great groups. You have to hunt. You have to go talk to your bank. You have to own your stuff, and the only way out of it is through it, and I'm
Yeah.
still working through it, but we're gonna get through it, and those are the kind of things that, especially in a changing environment, interest rates are higher now, it became really unforgiving, and, I'm thankful for it, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
It's taught me
Yeah.
a lot, you know?
Yeah. Man, see, talk to someone like you that has the perspective that you have and the way that you discipline yourself. You know what to take responsibility for, but then also making sure you give responsibility sometimes back to the person that is supposed to be on at the same time. So I don't take responsibility for my part, but actually you're gonna take responsibility for your part too. Even if I gotta sue you ASS. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to take some of the responsibility back too. So man, I listen and I love just hearing your perspective, the way you walk through scenarios personally and in business. And with that
Thanks.
being said, I'm going to ask you your perspective about this. What did you most focus on solving or scaling next? Like, Kyle, what's the next real goal for you, sir?
It's interesting. I think that the scaling piece, I love the community I live in, Dubuque, Iowa. It's a Midwest town. It's right on the Mississippi River. There's so much happening in this community, and it's a community you can get your hands around. I can't go to the grocery store without knowing 4 or 5 people, and there's 5 or 6 grocery stores in this town. They're big, but I love people, so I see people everywhere. And I see that there are so many interesting projects going on in this town, and they're all kind of happening in their own little silos. And we need to connect those people. We've got an incredible group of companies here that have really supported and stuck around and kept this area alive financially, and they could go invest in other communities. But I think seeing their commitment and investment allows small developers like myself, and I've got some friends we've kind of adopted this thing called the Central Corridor, and it's a group of buildings that are 2 to 3 story high buildings, all built facing each other, like 1880s era, incredible historic buildings. When people put their name on the top of the building, P. Klein Building and whatever else, and there was so much pride and sense of place in the way they
Yeah.
built these ornate cornices, Victorian era stuff, and I think that seeing that chunk of town, which has been seen so much disinvestment, seeing it slowly turn, and it's a longer play. I'm excited about investing in that and being invested in that. I've got probably 1 million plus invested in just a few buildings in that little corridor. But
Yeah.
some of the most powerful work I've ever done is not work that has turned huge profits. It's giving back to a community and seeing it grow. I mean, I invested in my
Yeah.
wife's nonprofit. She had a dream to help people, and she's a music therapist, and she started, the fastest growing nonprofit organization that's healing people from the inside out through music. It's beautiful, and
Mm.
she's got an incredible team. So, like, that sits in my heart as one of my greatest accomplishments, by paving the way. I went ahead and bought her a building, renovated it, and real estate got me there. So anyone who's listening to this that understands, like, real estate's a tool, and it's the most incredible investment mechanism I've ever had. I own some Apple stock, I own different Nvidia, I own stocks, and I own some mutual funds and things, but those don't, I don't have any control over those. I don't
Yeah.
work at a company. Real estate, I can control. I can choose the tenants. I can choose if I'm going to renovate or redevelop or reconfigure the property. I have ways to maneuver it. So I have a sense of control with that. And that's why I want to continue to build in real estate. I'm kind of reinvigorated to do that, but also coaching people who need the help. I mean, there's some incredible people who have the dollars and the sense to do this. They just don't have somebody willing to walk with them with their hand on the seat while they learn to pedal and balance. And so that's where I like to play a role. That's the most forgiving, fulfilling part for me, is forgiving people strength through really just confidence, helping them build
Yeah.
confidence in this industry.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, you hit on it about connections. Like you and I, we said it both. We're both connectors, and so you are a connector. And so I love hearing you talk about your relationship with people, connecting with the people in your community. This essential, I think, essential corridor that you talked about, like really making sure that you reinvigorate just the places that you're in. And so I love it, man. I love how you're connecting with people. I love what you're doing with your wife. I love that nonprofit that your wife has. I mean, totally amazing, man. It's just, I can honestly see your passion and your through line with connecting and helping and building things that's sustainable and really helping people come through. So, Kyle, man,
Appreciate
yeah, man, this has been a 100% pleasure, brother. It really has. And I want to ask you this before we wrap, man. If someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, or maybe even collaborate or learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach out to you, sir?
Good luck. We talked about my ADHD. No, I'm just kidding. um, to be quite honest, I had when I had a large company with employees and all this stuff, like I had a website and all this. I've shut a lot of that down. I want fewer ways to connect with me. My cell phone number is 563-542-6867. I do answer calls and texts. And I'm not afraid to share my personal number. But I have an email address, Kyle, Kyle, at wearereuse.com. So the website's no longer active, but that's my email. So wearereuse spelled out.com. And my name is Kyle. So Kyle at, I keep it simple. I'm on Instagram. I think it's Coach Kyle Fitzgerald on Instagram. And then, Facebook, you can always find people and things like that. I post about a number of things because I'm a passionate writer as well. So I like to do things in that regard. But really, yeah, social media, you'll find me. If you want me, you find me. That's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I love it, man. I'm gonna say this in closing. One of my favorite, well, I can't say one of my favorite books, but a book that has impacted me a lot is a book called Essentialism. And when you are essential about your life, you know what to say hell yes to, and what to say hell no to. And so, man, I really admire your essentialism. You've scaled back on some stuff, scaled back on employees, scaled back even on the way you can be reached. And it shows me just how essential you are and how you focus on the thing that matters. And so, man, I really appreciate you being here today. I appreciate your story, your time, your passion. This has been great, man. So, Kyle, thank you again, sir.
Q, thank you. This is wonderful what you guys are doing here, and I think just this is the epitome of connecting people. Small glimpse of stories of what people do. And I think, yeah, I don't want. I wish I could duplicate myself and build an army of consultants that are going to go and find all these reuse opportunities out there and
Yeah.
connect me to these
Yeah.
big timber frame projects. But I'm a dad. I'm a father. I'm a
Yeah.
husband. I'm here for my kids and my girls. I want to own my time, and I do that. So I only have so much bandwidth, and I take the most powerful projects to work on. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yes, sir. No, man, absolutely, sir. Listen, this has been great, man. And so again, Kyle, man, I thank you. I thank you so much. And so everyone else, you heard Mr. Kyle Fitzgerald. I keep telling y'all, we're going to continue to bring y'all these amazing conversations. I like I'm listening. All I ask you to do is subscribe. Just hit the button. That way you know the alert comes through and you know, uh-oh, here go another valuable conversation. So go ahead and hit it. Mr. Kyle,
Keep it up.
thank you again, sir. Yes, man. Appreciate you so much. And everyone else, we will see you on the next time. Y'all have a good one now.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.